So you're that guy who likes Soldier 76 but can't use him properly. Worry no more, because after this video, you will be playing Soldier 76 like a pro. Hello guys, my name is Pyro and without further ado, let's get into this video. Now, let's start talking about Soldier 76's strengths. Soldier 76 has one of the best weapons in the game because it is able to do damage from close, medium, and even far range. Soldier 76 can heal not only himself, but any additional teammates that are in the range of his biotic field. His sprint allows him to move faster, allowing him to escape from fights. Soldier 76 can be used offensively or defensively. Now, let's talk about Soldier 76's weaknesses. In my opinion, Soldier 76 really does not have any weaknesses, because he is able to do damage from any range, and he can be used offensively or defensively. Now, let's get into Soldier 76's abilities, starting with his sprint. Soldier 76's sprint allows him to move around faster without him being able to shoot his gun. This is very useful because Soldier 76 can get to an objective faster or flee from an enemy when he is low health. Now, let's move on to Soldier 76's main weapon, which is the Heavy Pulse Rifle. The Heavy Pulse Rifle has an ammunition clip of 25. It fires at a rate of 10 bullets per second and deals 5 to 17 damage per shot, depending on range. It takes 1 second to reload, and damage is doubled on headshots. This weapon is fairly easy to use. One thing I recommend is changing your crosshairs to short and select the color green or purple. You should experiment which color crosshair suits you the best. Another thing I recommend is to spray Soldier 76's gun at close to mid-range, but when you're at a mid to far range, I recommend bursting. When you fire 4 shots of Soldier 76's gun, the crosshair starts to bloom out, indicating Soldier 76's shots will not be as accurate. Because of this, I recommend shooting in bursts of 3 or 4. Now, let's move on to Soldier 76's next ability, which are the Helix Rockets. Soldier 76's Helix Rockets act like a projectile. Soldier 76's Helix Rockets do 120 damage, 40 on the direct hit, and up to 80 splash damage. That's how you get the 120. For example, if you fire your Helix Rockets where the enemy team is all clumped up, you will do 120 damage to one of them, and up to 80 splash damage to all the rest of them. The Helix Rockets fire in a straight line and have a 2-meter AoE or radius of splash damage. However, they do not deal extra damage on headshots. The cooldown time for the Helix Rockets are 8 seconds, and you can also rocket jump with them. Try landing your Helix Rockets, because that extra 120 damage or 80 damage can really help you win the fight. As far as who to target with Soldier 76's Helix Rockets go, I recommend shooting them at any type of enemy. You can use them on tanks, offensive heroes, defensive heroes, support heroes, it doesn't really matter. But if you're up against a tank hero, I recommend going for the direct hit with the Helix Rockets, because that extra 40 damage can really help you win the fight. And this is easier for tanks because they have a bigger hitbox. However, if you are up against a squishy troop like Tracer, I recommend shooting your Helix Rockets at their legs, because they have a smaller hitbox and it is harder to get direct hits with your Helix Rockets on them. And at least you'll still get 80 damage, which is a decent portion of their health. Now let's move on to Soldier 76's last ability, which is his Biotic Field. When the Biotic Field is deployed, it will heal teammates in a 5-meter radius. The Biotic Field lasts for 5 seconds and heals teammates in it for 40 health per second. It has a 15-second cooldown. One thing I recommend is that you should turn on allied health bars so you know what health your teammates are at. This helps you to know what time to place your Biotic Field down that will benefit you and your teammates the most. Another thing I recommend is that you should use the Biotic Field behind cover when your teammates are near, so you and your teammates can regenerate health without taking damage. Now let's move on to Soldier 76's ultimate, which is the Tactical Visor. When used, Soldier 76 reloads his weapon and gains auto-aiming for 6 seconds. For the rest of the ability, Soldier 76 reloads 50% faster. Another thing to know is upon activation, Soldier 76 will not aim for weak points, being the head. Instead, he will aim in the center of the enemy's body. I recommend using your tactical visor when there are a lot of squishy troops around, because you will melt through them. However, if there are tanks, I recommend flanking so no shields can soak up all of the damage. Also, another thing you should do is reload before you use Soldier 76's ultimate, because you will not have to waste time reloading, getting the maximum use out of your ultimate. Another quick tip for Soldier 76's ultimate is you should target support heroes first, then move on to offensive or defensive heroes, and then target tanks, if there is any time left in your ultimate. Taking out the enemy support first is very beneficial, because this allows you to take out the other heroes faster, because they will not be healing. This helps you maximize your ultimate time. Now let's move on to some strategies, tips, good, even, and bad matchups for Soldier 76. Let's start with strategies to help you play better as Soldier 76. A lot of people think Soldier 76 always has to be in the front lines of the enemy team. However, that is very false. Soldier 76 can be a good flanker, offensive, or team player. For example, Soldier 76 can stay with his team, supporting and healing up his teammates with his biotic field. This is very helpful because your teammates will not die as often, and you will not have to worry about dying because you have cover from your teammate. Now let's move on to the tips of Soldier 76. One of the biggest tips for Soldier 76, in my opinion, is that you should keep all enemies at a range that does not benefit them. Because Soldier 76's heavy pulse rifle can be used at any range, this is possible. For example, you should be fighting a Hanzo up at close range because you will be able to wreck him there. But if you are fighting a Reaper, you should stay at a range because he won't even be able to hit you. As far as choosing a sensitivity goes, I recommend experimenting and finding out what sensitivity works best for you, because it's different for everyone. Personally, I play better and like it better when I play Soldier 76 with a high sensitivity. This next tip pretty much goes for any hero in Overwatch, but I'll include it anyways. If you're afraid of losing SR because you are not good enough, or you simply are afraid that you will not contribute to the team well enough, I recommend practicing on quick play, because quick play is pretty much the exact same thing as competitive, except people do not try as hard as they do on quick play as they do on competitive. This next tip goes to anyone who wants to enhance their aim in Overwatch. I recommend going to custom games and setting it to headshots only, and changing the other team to only Ana. Since Ana cannot get headshots, you can practice your headshots without worrying about dying. I recommend you do this every day for 15 minutes, and you will see how much better your aim will be. Now let's move on to the good matchups, even matchups, and bad matchups for Soldier 76. Let's start with the good matchups for Soldier 76. The good matchups, in my opinion, for Soldier 76 are Pharah, Mercy, Zenyatta, Hanzo, Symmetra, Tracer, Lucio, and Torbjorn. Now, let's move on to the even matchups for Soldier 76. The even matchups, in my opinion, for Soldier 76 are Roadhog, Mei, Genji, Junkrat, Winston, Reaper, Diva, McCree, other Soldier 76s, and Widowmaker. Now, let's move on to the bad matchups for Soldier 76. The bad matchups, in my opinion, for Soldier 76 are Reinhardt, Zarya, and Bastion. So yeah guys, that's pretty much the video. That's all I have for you guys on Soldier 76. Remember to keep practicing and you will get better at Soldier 76. Make sure to check out everyone in Pyro, that's our clan. All their links to their YouTube channel will be in the description below. And don't forget to like and subscribe and comment and tell me what informational video, tips and tricks video, or guide you'd like to see next on my channel. So anyways guys, this is Pyro Killer signing out. Peace out, guys.